right, everyone, welcome to Therapeutic Yoga. We are going to focus on that low back today. So what you're going to need for class is nice and simple, just a yoga mat and a yoga bolster or a couple of pillows or something like that. Just something to take you up off of your mat so we can kind of tackle the sides of the low back and the hip flexors by laying on the bolster. So start with finding yourself in a seated position on your bolster. Once you're there today, just gently take your legs and bring your legs into a wide-legged position. We're just going to start with a little bit of pelvic mobility before we get into our easy pose today. For those of you that might have some tight hips associated with those tight back muscles. So once you have yourself in a position that your legs are gently in a wide-legged position, just start to shear your rib cage a little tiny bit side to side. And as you shear your rib cage a little bit side to side, feel that you feel the weight going from your right sit bone to your left sit bone. So all you're doing is, if you can imagine the segments of your spine right now, is you're just moving your rib cage left and right, taking those discs and starting to give them a little bit of nutrition. And then set yourself in the center, and then just do a little bit of a tuck and a little bit of a tilt. Now, how much of a tilt or an arch of your back before you feel those inner thigh muscles engage? That's what I want you to pay attention to at home. So what I want you to do is just kind of tuck and tilt in the center, feel your legs shorten, feel your legs lengthen. And then as you're doing that, again, now we're working kind of into flexion extension a few times. Then find yourself somewhere in the center where you feel like there's equal weight on the right and left sit bones, and there's equal weight on the front and the back of the sit bone. And then just gently bring your right leg in and gently bring your left leg in. You can do left first, right first, whatever's comfortable for you. Once you have that position, there's probably not much weight through your legs right now, but your legs are a very important part of your base of support. So allow yourself to get your spine nice and tall and use your hip joints and just hinge slightly forward through the front of your bolster until you begin to feel some weight falling down into your legs. Once you have yourself in that position, take your hands to the center of your heart. Take a nice deep inhale and lift your arms up. Reach up to the ceiling like it's the first time that you've done that all day long. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the side of your bolster. Pull your shoulder blades back and down. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And then gently rest your hands palm down back onto your thighs. Now, if it's comfortable for you, just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment here. See if you can perceive weight into your right foot, weight into your left foot, weight into your front of your right sit bone, weight into the front of the left sit bone. And finally, check in here just to hold this position. Are you having to tighten your abdominals? Are you feeling tension in your low back muscles? We're going to get rid of all of that tension today. And then finally, before we move from this body awareness position, let's take 3 deep inhales and exhales into our belly, into our diaphragm, to start to open up that low back in a seated position. So take a slow, deep inhale into your belly. As the belly expands outward, you're beginning to kind of stretch into that low back. Slow exhale out through the nose. Just soften the belly. Let the air passively go nice and slow. Deep inhale into the belly. And then slow exhaling that air out. One more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And slow exhaling that air out. Try not to tighten the abdominals. Just try to let the air leave. Very good. And then gently open your eyes. Take your hands to the front of your knees so that your elbows are nice and straight. So you're just kind of bracing yourself there with your back. Hold your shoulders where they are. And then take a nice deep inhale. Roll the pelvis forward. Lift the chest up. Gaze up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, roll the pelvis back as far as you can. Curl that rib cage down. How close can you get your chin to your chest? Shouldn't be able to fall off the bolster since you're holding onto the fronts of your knees. All right, let's do that again. Inhale, roll the pelvis forward. Shoulder blades come back, lift the chest, gaze up to the ceiling. So seated cat-cows here. As you exhale, roll the pelvis back, curl that rib cage under, bring that chin to your chest. One more time here. Inhaling, rolling the pelvis forward, lifting the chest up, gazing up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, rolling the pelvis back, belly comes in, chest comes down, chin to chest. Roll yourself all the way back up to that seated position. Now, we're going to use our bolster for a minute to do a quick hip opener. So here's what I want you to do. Place yourself in a modified Z pose. So have it so that your right leg is coming off the side of your bolster or pillows if that's what you're using at home. And then see if you can kind of square up your right shin bone with the top of your bolster. And then gently take your left leg and bring the left leg gently behind you so that the shin bone is somewhat lining up with the side of the bolster. Now, you got a lot of hip arthritis or something going on with that hip, this may not be a comfortable position for you. So just gently place your leg out to the side of you if that is too much for your hip joint to handle. But if you can do this modification of Z pose, give it a try today. Once you're in that position, walk your hands forward so that your left wrist is near your right ankle and your right wrist is near your right knee. All right, this is where it really counts for that right hip here now. So as you inhale, arch your back as much as you can. Stick your belly forward, lift your chest, feel that opening through your right hip joints. And then as you exhale, can you do a little bit of a bend of your elbows, dropping your chest down towards that shin bone? Keep weight through your arms, keep your shoulder blades back and down, lengthen your neck, chin into your chest, gaze between those two arms. A nice, good hip opener using your bolster here. Now, 2 deep inhales and exhales into the belly. Nice deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Now, inhale, push yourself back up into this position, but don't move away from the position. All I want you to do now, see if you can turn your pelvis and your shoulder blades to line up with that right knee. Now that you've lined up with that right knee, my back is a little bit against you, but you can see what I'm doing. Take your right hand to the right side of the knee, off of your mat likely, left hand to the left side of the right knee, so that now your shoulder blades and your chest are lined up with that right knee. So this is actually a modification of pigeon pose here. So same idea, take an inhale, really flatten that back, roll your pelvis forward, belly comes towards that thigh. And then on the exhale, if you've got any more, can you gently bend those elbows as you drop your chest down towards the knee? Should feel this a little bit different in that right hip versus the first one. Good strengthening for your tricep muscles here. So keep those elbows tucked in, lengthen the neck, settle the chin, push into your index fingers and thumbs. 2 deep inhales and exhales here. So deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale here, push yourself up, use those tricep muscles and revert yourself back to the center position. Once you're there, repeating everything on the opposite side of your bolster. So check in first that you've got your left leg off the bolster. Have it so that the left shin bone is lining up with the front or the bottom of your mat, however you want to look at it. And now with that right leg, take that right leg out so that it's kind of lining up with the side of the mat. So again, this is a modification, a Z pose with using a bolster today. Now, in this position, once you're there, allow yourself to drop your hands in front of your shin bones. So right wrist to the left ankle, left wrist to the left knee. So get yourself so that your shoulder blades and everything all line up with that end of the mat and that shin bone. Now, again, if the right hip doesn't like it, like the left hip doesn't, you can simply place your leg out to the side and get out of that internal rotation. In this position, take that deep inhale, roll the pelvis forward, stick that belly out, arch that back. And then as you exhale, begin to bend those elbows, dropping that chest down towards the shin bone. Now push into your hands, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gaze down between those thumbs. Feel that general hip opening. Then take a deep inhale into your belly here and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. On your inhale, push yourself back up, walking yourself back up into a seated position, but staying in your modification of Z pose. Now, allow your pelvis to turn, allow your collarbones and shoulders to turn so they're now facing that left knee. In that position, you are getting a little bit of opening through that right hip as well. So again, do what's comfortable for you for your right hip. But take your left hand to the left side of the left knee, right hand to the right side of the left knee, and see how much you can line up those shoulders, the collarbones, and that pelvis with that left knee. Taking a deep inhale here, rolling the pelvis forward, sticking the belly towards the thigh, arching the back, and then on the exhale, bending those elbows, keeping the elbows in so you get good triceps here. Push into the index finger and the thumb, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Hold yourself right here. Make sure you've got good weight into the hands as you're opening up through that left hip. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. And let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. And then as you inhale, push with those triceps, get yourself back up into a seated position and then unrotate yourself around. Now, slowly let yourself come off the side of your bolster. Find yourself in hands and knees. Take your bolster to the center of your mat. We're going to use the bolster for several different yoga poses today. So have it so that right now it's in the center of your mat, and then bring yourself into a good hands and knees posture for you. So hands and knees, remember, take your knees and make sure they're hip distance apart. Look back that your feet line up with your knees and your hips stack on top of your knees. Walk your hands forward so that your wrists and your elbows are directly underneath those shoulder joints. Index fingers forward, thumbs are inward, outer three fingers, spread them out. Let's go through a few cat-cows here. So in this position, start with your inhale, roll that pelvis forward to lift that tailbone, arch that back, shoulder blades back and down, lift that chest, lengthen that neck in the front and gaze upward. And then as you exhale, pull that belly in, arch that back, roll that rib cage under, spread those shoulder blades, chin to chest, gazing inward. Inhale all the way down into that cat pose. Can you check in that you still have weight into your index fingers and your thumbs? And then as you exhale, curl everything up. One more time, inhaling down. And then exhaling and curling everything up. Good. Stay into your curl. Walk your hands up onto your bolster. Tuck the tailbone under, really slowly sit back into your heels. Keep that tailbone tucked under, keep your abdominals kind of pulled in. Take a gentle inhale here, and then a deep exhale, bend your elbows, slowly dropping the crown of your head to your bolster. Allow yourself just to rest in this position. Forearms can rest on your bolster. Take a nice slow deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice, deep, slow inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Very nice. Slowly bring yourself back up onto hands and knees. And what we're going to do now is just some really good mobility of the low back and the rib cage. So we're going to kind of do some shifting and moving all together. So what I want you to do is pay close attention to what I say for right and lefts and see if you can kind of do this rib cage and pelvis dance with me. So we're not going to add the breath yet, but start with gently letting your spine drop down, your tailbone lift, your shoulder blades go back and down, lengthen your neck up. Then shift your weight to your right wrist and your right knee. As you have yourself over into that right side, start to lift the tailbone, arch the back, tuck the tailbone under, spread the chin down to the chest as the shoulder blades go out. Keep yourself arched up, and now shift yourself to your left knee and your left wrist. And then slowly sink the belly down, lift the tailbone up, shoulder blades come back, lengthen the neck. Shift yourself over to the right knee and wrist. Gently start to arch the back, tailbone comes under, spread the shoulder blades, chin to chest. Shift the weight to the left knee and wrist. Sink the pelvis or the belly down, lift the tailbone up, shoulder blades, lengthen the neck, look up, and shift to the right. Last time, arch up. So tuck the tailbone, spread the shoulder blades, chin to chest. And shift back to the center and relax your spine there. All right. So now let's see if we can do that with some good breathing. So how you're going to do that is it needs to be a little bit faster. So what I want you to begin with is just gently shift your weight to your left wrist and your left hand. Take a nice deep inhale and sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the head, weight shift to the right. Exhale, curl everything up, tuck the chin, weight shift to the left. Inhale, sink everything down, lengthen the neck, weight shift to the right. Exhale, curl everything up, tuck the chin, weight shift to the left. One more time. Inhale, letting everything go down, weight shift to the right. And exhale, curling everything up and weight shift back to the center. Walk your hands up onto the bolster, tuck that tailbone under, slowly sit back. Take a gentle inhale here, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, let the crown of your head come down to the bolster. Let your belly rest here. Just drop your wrists up and over the front of the bolster here to give them a bit of flexion. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly, and a nice exhale. One more time, nice deep inhale and an exhale. So just kind of do a couple of circles with your wrist because we've got the other direction of circles to do with our rib cage and our pelvis for that low back. So slowly, last thing in hands and knees, but bring yourself back up. Can you check in that you haven't lost your alignment between your ankles, your knees and your hips, or your wrists and your elbows and your shoulders? Have those index fingers and thumbs nice and spread apart. All right. So let's go through this in the opposite direction. So start with coming down to the left, dropping your belly down, arching your back up, rolling the shoulder blades up and lengthening up for a second. And then shift your weight to the left side first. Once you have your weight into your left wrist and your left knee, arch your back up, tuck your tailbone, spread your shoulder blades, chin to the chest, keep it up there, and then move yourself over to your right knee and your right wrist. Once you have your weight into the right knee and the right wrist, sink the belly down, lift the tailbone, shoulder blade goes back and down, lengthen the neck, look up. Keep yourself in that arch and shift yourself over to the left wrist and the left knee. Then arch yourself back up, tuck your tailbone under, chin goes to the chest, spread the shoulder blade, weight shift over to the right knee and the right wrist. And then allow yourself to sink down again, lifting the tailbone, shoulder blade goes back and down, looking up towards the ceiling. So that's the movement that we're going to do this time with breath. So allow yourself to start with a weight shift to the right wrist and the right knee. All right, hear me and see if you can do with me. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, shoulder blades down, weight shift to the left. Exhale, curl it all up and under as you weight shift to the right. Inhale, sink the belly, lift that tailbone up, lengthen through the neck, shift to the left. Exhale, curling everything up as you shift to the right. One more time, just like we did on the other side. Inhale, sinking everything down, looking up, shifting to the left, and exhaling, curling everything up and under and shifting to the right. Very good. Come back to the center. Keep your arch. Walk your hands back up onto the bolster one last time. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Slowly sit back. Take a nice gentle inhale here and then a deep exhale. Slowly dropping the crown of the head towards the bolster. Relaxing the elbows. Staying here. Taking a nice deep inhale in. And exhale out. Deep inhale in and exhaling out. Most excellent. Slowly bringing yourself up. Once you're up onto the hands and knees, bring yourself to your bolster. Now, we're going to start with doing some opening through the side of our low back area. So there are muscles that attach to the side of your pelvis and the side of your rib cage that are often extremely tight. They're called the quadratus lumborum. So they're in the shape of a quad, and they're big flat muscles that create lots of issues with people's low back. So we're going to attempt to get some length into those muscles today. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to be on your bolster so that your entire left pelvis and left hip and left thigh bone are on the bolster, but your knees are off the front of the bolster. Once you feel like you have that position correct, keep your knees and your legs stacked, then gently, slowly lower yourself down onto your left shoulder. And then once you've lowered yourself down onto your left shoulder, just let your head rest down onto the mat. Now, this is a gentle inversion for your entire body. Your neck is in, just a tiny bit of side bend. If you feel that you cannot handle it, just take your hand and rest your hand underneath your head to get your neck into a nice, good neutral position. So whichever is comfortable for you for your left hand and your head, go ahead and do it, because we're going to be moving the pelvis in a second, and I want to make sure that we all can do that. The left arm does not have a job for this particular position and exercise. So keep the left leg onto the thigh, bring your onto the bolster, bring your right hand up onto the pelvis. In this position, pick your right leg up into the air. So using your hip muscles for a second, take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, really kick that leg straight out away from you. Now, can you use your right hand and even push your pelvis longer away from you so you can feel that length through the side of your body? Once you have that, take another deep inhale, lengthen the heel even further away from you. And then as you exhale, can you gently drop that foot towards your mat? As you do that, you should feel a beautiful opening through that quadratus lumborum and your abdominal muscles. If you want to add a little bit more lift of the pelvis away, rib cage away from the pelvis, right hand, take it up in the air as an inhale. And then on the exhale, reach it up and over your body. Make sure that you feel like your rib cage has not rotated forward or has not rotated backward. So keep it nice and aligned with your pelvis. Just lengthen your arm up and away from you. Now, hold this position. Literally close your eyes and feel exactly where you feel that opening in the side of your body. Is it closer to the rib cage? Is it closer to the pelvis? Mine is smack dab on my pelvis near my SI joint. You figure out for you, imagine it, feel it. Where do I feel that stretch the most? If you've got super tight outer hips, heck, you may even feel this in your hip muscles. Wherever you're feeling it right now, I want you to take the deepest, most awesome diaphragmatic breaths into it and open up those muscles. Create length where maybe length has been lost. So deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Let's do that again. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Very nice. Now, right hand, inhale it up. And then as you exhale, drop it down back to your pelvis. Literally use that right hand to push that pelvis away from you. Let's do a little bit of strengthening through those outer hip muscles. Can you push that pelvis away from you and lift that leg up in the air? Yes. Hold that leg up in the air. Can you take an inhale and turn your toes up? Can you take an exhale and turn your toes down? Keep that length of your back. Inhale, turn the toes up. Exhale, turn the toes down. Let's do one more time. Inhale, turn the toes up. Exhale, turn the toes down. Relax the turning of the leg and the hip and drop the right leg back onto the left leg. You did it. Now, right hand onto the floor in front of the left shoulder. Left elbow, bend it up so that you've got that elbow on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale here. And on your exhale, push yourself back up. Voila, back up onto the bolster. Once you've done that, just flip yourself to the opposite side. We're doing it all over again on the opposite side of our body. So check in that you've got the good alignment first. So have it so that your entire right pelvic bone and hip bone are on top of the bolster. The entire leg bone is on top of the bolster, but the knee is just off the very edge of the front of the bolster. Once you have that, kind of stack your legs up so that your knees and your leg bones, your leg bones and your shin bones are kind of one on top of the other. And then you're ready to lay down onto this right side. So same idea, just slowly walk yourself down onto your side. Once you're down onto your side, make sure you feel that you are weight bearing through that right shoulder so that you're not in any sort of trunk rotation. And once you're there, again, your head is in a gentle inversion and a side bend. Now, if something does not like that, by all means, take your hand to support your head because your right arm does not have a job during what we're doing with our back today. Then take your left hand and bring your left hand to that pelvis area. Once you have that, then we're ready to begin creating length through our left low back. So just simply lift your left leg up in the air for a moment. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, push that leg away from you. Really pull that pelvis away from you. So the right leg doesn't move off the bolster, but you're really lengthening that pelvis away from you. Finding gorgeous opening through the abdominals and that low back muscle called the quadratus lumborum. Now, in this position, take another deep inhale. Push your heel away from you as much as you can on the left. And then as you exhale, drop your leg down onto the floor. You should feel some gorgeous opening through either the abdominals or either that quadratus lumborum or maybe your lumbar dorsal fascia, something in that low back area. If you've got really tight hips, it might be that you're feeling it on the outside of your hip. Now make sure your pelvis isn't rotating forward or backward. Make sure your rib cage is also in alignment with your pelvis. And then let's take that left arm, bring it up into the air, nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, reach that arm up and away from you, creating more length of that quadratus lumborum and of those abdominal muscles. Now, same deal here that we did on that opposite side. Can you really become aware of your low back here? Really kind of hone in, where is my tension in my muscles in my low back? Can you close your eyes and put a point, put a finger, put a magic wand on that area that is tight? Feel where it is. Is it closer to the rib cage, closer to the pelvic bone, closer to the spine? And then once you have that area, think about it. Put your intention into that area. And the deepest of beautiful abdominal belly breaths, start to breathe into that area. So nice deep inhale into that belly. Feel that length of those muscles and those fascial tissues. And then as you exhale, letting it go. One more time, slow, deep inhaling in. And then as you exhale, gently letting it go. All right, left arm, inhale it back up into the air. And then as you exhale, relax that hand back down into the pelvis. Now, use the arm to actively push the pelvis away from the rib cage. Now let's do a little bit of strengthening with this left hip. So start with just inhaling and lifting the leg up and holding it parallel to your floor and your mat here. All right, so we're gonna do some inhales and exhales with rotation of the hip here. So can you inhale and turn the toes up? And then can you exhale and turn the toes down or heel up, however you wanna look at it. Keep the length of the back, inhaling toes up, exhaling toes down. One more time for me. Inhaling toes up, exhaling toes down, and then slowly inhaling that left leg in, and then as you exhale, stacking it on top of the right leg. All right, now here's where things are gonna get fun, because what I want you to do is I want you to try to just, if your knees are fully off of the bolster, like I asked you to do at home, you should be able to take your right hand right now and grab a hold of that bolster if you're using a yoga bolster. Take your legs and begin to squeeze your feet together and your knees together and lift your toes off of the ground. Take a nice deep inhale, tighten your abdominals, and on the exhale, roll yourself over onto your back. Can you do that at home? Give it a try. Once you have that position, whether you're using pillows or whether you're using a bolster, here's where I need you. I need you so that your entire pelvis is laying on top of those pillows or that bolster. So you figure out what is working good for you with what you've got at home. And then once you have that, I want you to actually hold on to the bolster for a moment. Let everybody kind of find the same position. Stack your knees up on top of your hips. Allow your toes to kind of point up into the ceiling. Let your heels gently drop down. Once you've done that, start with your belly and let your belly kind of fall in towards the spine a little bit. So you're not sucking your belly in. You're actually just creating a little bit of a drop of your spine here. Very nice. Now that you have that position, allow yourself to place your right hand onto your right thigh, your left hand onto your left thigh, and take your legs the width of your hips. Very gently push the right hand into the left thigh, right hand into the right thigh, and left hand into the left thigh. Start to feel the abdominals engaging here. Nice and gentle contraction. Feel like you're also trying to lift your knees up towards the ceiling, holding that gentle contraction. Take a deep inhale into your belly, lengthen your neck and settle your chin, and then exhaling out. Let's do that again. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now let go of the thighs. Place the hands back onto the bolster or the hands onto the floor, whichever is comfortable for you. Now take a gentle inhale here. On the exhale, take your left knee to your chest. Nice gentle inhale. Exhale, drop your right heel down to the floor. You've got it. Inhale, bring that right knee all the way up to your chest. Exhale, slowly drop the left knee down to the floor. So trying to protect our back, but while we create some active length of our hip flexors here. Inhale, bring the left knee all the way up to your chest. Exhale, slowly drop the right heel to the floor. You guys have it. Let's keep going. Inhale, bring the right knee all the way up to your chest. Exhale, slowly drop the left heel to the floor. We're going to do one more round. Inhale, lifting the left knee to the chest. Exhale, dropping the right heel to the floor. And finally, inhaling the right knee to the chest. Exhaling, dropping the left heel to the floor. Beautiful. Left leg, inhale it back up. Hands around the shin bones. As you exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Let your ankles relax here. Maybe do some circles clockwise, some circles counterclockwise. Make sure that you feel like your neck is nice and long and your chin is relaxed in this gentle inversion over your bolster or pillows. And then keep your left knee to your chest here for me. Take your right hand on top of the left knee, interlace your hands if you want to, and then really keep that left knee nice and snug towards the chest. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, slowly lower that right foot back down to the floor. Now, we're going to play where every single person's hip flexor flexibility is at home. And so what I want you to begin with is checking in that that left knee does not come away from your chest. So we want to protect our low back while we work on lengthening those hip flexors, which are going to give our low back some space. So in this position, start to inhale and slowly slide your leg away from you. Can you get your knee perfectly straight with your heel on the floor? Each and every one of us have a different amount of flexibility of our hip flexors. We also have a different amount of strength of our gluteals and our quadriceps. What is your spine and pelvis and hips capable of doing at home? So can you lengthen that right leg, keep the heel on the floor, straighten the knee, squeeze through the right glutes and get that opening through your right hip flexor? All at the same time as never moving that left knee away from your chest. Now, holding here, take a deep inhale into your belly, as deep as you can. And then as you exhale, slowly letting go. Maybe you can straighten your knee a little bit more. Maybe you can squeeze your right glute a little bit more. Maybe. One more breath, deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. And then on your inhale, slowly start to slide the heel back towards the bolster, and then exhaling, gently bringing the right knee to the chest. You've got it. Take both of those knees, hands around the shin bones, take a nice deep inhale here, and exhale, nice and good snug of those knees to your chest. Now, let's repeat that all over again on the opposite side. So take the left hand to join the right hand on the right shin. Interlace the hand or fingers for me and take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale, keep that right knee into your chest. Then take a deep inhale. And then on your exhale, slowly lower your foot and your heel towards your mat. Now, as you begin your inhale, slowly start to straighten your leg and continue as you're exhaling. Can you get your knee straight, keeping your heel onto the floor, squeezing through your left gluteal muscles? How much opening can you get to the front of your hip flexors on the left side? In the end, opening up through your low back. Now make sure the right knee stays to your chest. Allow yourself to get to wherever you got your knee straight, wherever you got your heel on the floor, wherever you're squeezing through that left glute. And keep everything where it is right now and give me the deepest inhale into your belly that you've got. And exhaling out. Lengthen the leg, straighten the knee, squeeze the glute. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Then starting your inhale, slowly sliding that left leg up. Once the heel is near the bolster, exhale, bringing the left knee back up to your chest. All right, deep inhale into the belly here. And then exhale, relax those knees into your chest, lengthen your neck, relax your feet. Let's do some belly breathing here. So nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful job. All right, now here's what I want us to do. Release the right foot to the floor, release the left foot to the floor. We're gonna do one squeeze, one contraction through your gluteal muscles, one last training of the abdominals before we say goodbye to the bolster for the rest of our class. So in the position you're in right now, you're already in a bridge. So what I want you to pay attention to is if you feel your low back now, does your low back feel like it is gently resting itself towards the floor? Does it feel like it's arched up and your belly is sticking out? Or does it feel like your pelvis is completely tilted under? So pay attention to the position of your pelvis. Pay attention that your back is in a very small, gentle arch, not too much arch, not too much of a tuck under of that tailbone. Rest your feet on the floor. Do nothing to push your feet into the floor. So just gently, gently allow yourself to squeeze your glutes. As you start to squeeze your glutes, you'll begin to feel that your feet gently begin to push into the floor, but focus just on squeezing the glutes. Can you imagine if you were squeezing your glutes enough that you just let your pelvis be half as light on the pelvis, on the bolster? Can you squeeze your glutes and maybe push a little bit into the floor now to unload a bit more of your pelvis, but don't move your back position. Don't arch your back, don't flatten your back. Keep squeezing through the glutes here. Give me a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, relax the squeeze of the glutes, drop the pelvis and all of the weight entirely back onto the bolster. Bring your right knee back up to your chest. Bring your left knee back up to your chest. One more deep inhale and an exhale, pulling those knees to the chest. You've got it. Now, very gently, allow yourself to kind of push the bolster away from you so that now all that you need to do is just gently grab the bolster with your feet and push it down to the very last part of your mat. Have it so that your tippy toes have pushed it so far away that you can't even feel that bolster with your tippy toes anymore. Once you've done that, slide your feet back up, rest your feet so that now your back is in a gentle resting position onto the mat. Your knees are bent, your feet are flat, shoulder blades are rested under. Arms are gently resting out to the side of your body. All right, right knee, bring it up to your chest. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull that knee into your chest. Left leg, slide it straight down that mat. Take your hands to the underside of your right knee, interlace your fingers, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull that knee nice and tight to your chest. Shoulder blades are pulled under, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take both sets of toes and point them up towards the ceiling. Give me a gentle inhale, and as you inhale, straighten the right knee, keeping the toes pointed towards your head. And then as you exhale, gently let that bend. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, straightening through that right knee, feeling that opening through the hamstring and sciatic nerve, and then exhaling and relaxing. 1 more time for me. Inhaling, straightening, and exhaling and relaxing. Very nice. Left leg, slide the leg back up. Right leg, relax the foot to the floor. And then take the left knee to the chest. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull that knee to your chest, and then gently slide that right leg down the mat. And once you're there, bring the hands to the underside of the left knee and interlace those hands 1 last time. Shoulder blades are back and under. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, pull that knee into the chest. Take those toes and point them up towards the ceiling for me. Keeping the knee to the chest on the left side. Inhaling, beginning to straightening the left knee, pointing those toes toward your head. And then as you exhale, gently relaxing that knee. And doing that 2 more times. Nice deep inhale, straightening. And exhaling and relaxing. Let's do one more time. Nice deep inhaling and straightening. And as we exhale, relaxing that knee down. Very nice. Keeping the left knee to your chest, slide the right foot up, and then bring that right knee to the chest. Okay, now in this position, going back to those abdominals one last time, allow yourself to have your knees just in front of your hips. So not 90 degrees, but actually closer to your chest than that. You drop your heels down, point your toes up, place your hands on the front of the thighs, shoulder blades are back and down, neck is long, chin is tucked, maybe even looking at your knees here. In this position, start to push your hands into your thighs into your knees. Feel that beautiful shaking as you get all of those deep fibers of those hip flexors, the psoas muscles, your abdominal muscles, the transversus abdominis, all communicating, talking to one another with that brain of yours. Let that shake keep happening. Allow yourself to make sure you're not holding your breath, but breathing in and breathing out. Let's hold another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and gently pulling those knees into your chest. Deep inhale here, exhaling. Feels good. All right, one last opening for our hip muscle. That is one of the key muscles that speaks to back pain, and that is your piriformis muscle. So keep your right knee to your chest again. Allow your left leg to slowly slide all the way down the mat, and then take your right knee to the center of your chest. So we tackled this muscle in sitting with our bolster. We obviously need to tackle it again, laying on our back. So in this position with your knee to the center of your chest, hold your right hand around the outside of your right knee and take your left hand and slide down as close to your right ankle as you can. Check in that your left leg stays straight. And then take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, check in that that right pelvis is on the floor. So don't let yourself roll over to the left side. Keeping the knee to the chest now. Biceps are engaged. Take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, pull that right ankle up towards your left shoulder. Feel that opening in this right hip. So awesome that you can close your eyes and you could literally draw where your hip rotators and your piriformis muscle live in your buttocks. Holding this position, can you take the deepest inhale right to where those muscles are? And then as you exhale, maybe pull the pelvis down towards the mat more, knee towards the chest more, ankle towards the shoulder more. One more breath, deep inhaling in. And exhaling as you hold. Then slowly unrotate the ankle back in line with the knee and hip. First, bring the knee back in line with the shoulder area, then slide the left leg all the way back up. Once the left knee is to your chest, release the right foot to the floor, slide the right leg all the way down the mat. Take that left knee now and bring it towards the center of your chest. But check in that the left pelvis does not make its way off the floor. Then the outside of the knee and the left hand hold one another. Slide the right hand down to the left ankle or as close as you can. Check in that your right leg is nice and straight and engaged. Left pelvis is connected to that mat. Taking a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, pulling the knee to the chest, pelvis down to the mat, that left ankle up towards that right shoulder. Holding with the biceps engaged here, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Can you close your eyes and literally draw where the piriformis muscle or your rotators live in your buttock? I can. Once you've done that with your mind, allow yourself to start to deeply inhale right to that muscle. Deep inhale into your belly, and then exhaling out. Let's do that again. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling, can you sit that pelvis down more? Pull that knee up, pull that ankle up, aha, and then slowly unrotate that ankle back in line with the knee. Finally, the knee back with the hip, and then gently slide the right foot flat on the floor, and then release the left foot to the floor. All right, let's do some gentle opening through our spine and our hips with some rotation here. So what I'd like you to start with is take your right foot to the right corner, or right edge of your mat, your left foot to the left edge of your mat, and take your knees the width of your ankles. So your knees should be nice and wide now. Start to focus on your your right knee first. Arms can gently be out to the side. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, let your right knee fall towards your left foot. Let your left knee fall out to the side of your body. So how close can you get that right knee towards that left heel? Feel that opening through the outside of your hip, maybe the outside of your knee, definitely that rotation of your trunk. Imagine taking your pelvis away from your rib cage. Deep inhale into the belly here. Exhaling, trying to actively drop that right knee down. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the knees all the way back up to the center. And then on your exhale, left knee, drop it down towards your mat, towards that right heel, as the right knee falls out to the side of your body. Now, again, you're just working on trying to create that trunk rotation, but including, and most importantly, the hip rotation. And so can you hear, allow yourself to take that deep inhale, and as you exhale, lengthen that pelvis from that rib cage, pull gently that left knee towards the right ankle. Deep inhale into your belly here. Exhaling, drop that left knee towards that right heel. One more deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful, guys. Inhale, lift those knees back up to the center. Walk your legs in, so now your feet line up with your hips again, so about 6 inches apart. And let's do some nice, good windshield washers here, or just gentle trunk rotation with the knees and the hips. So deep inhale here. Exhale, drop the legs now to the left side. Inhaling, bringing them back up, and then exhaling to the right side. Inhale, back on up. Now relax right there for a second. We're going to do that 3 times each side. I want you to pay attention, not that you're doing it, but how you're doing it. So when you let your legs fall to the left, can you feel your pelvis lift first, then your low back lift, then your rib cage lift? I want you to pay attention and see how you do. So be aware of your spine. Allow yourself to have the happiest low back you can. Take an inhale right here. Exhale, drop the knees to the left. Feel the right pelvis lift. Feel the right low back lift. Feel the right rib cage lift. Keep the right shoulder blade down. Can you inhale, drop the rib cage back down? Inhale, drop the low back down. Inhale, drop the pelvis down. Then exhale, left pelvis, lift it up. Exhale, left low back, lift it up. Exhale, left rib cage, lift it up. Keep your left shoulder blade down. Here we go. Inhale, rib cage on the left. Inhale, low back on the left. Inhale, pelvis on the left. And exhale, pelvis on the right. Exhale, back on the right. Exhale, rib cage on the right. Lots to think about, isn't it? Inhale, rib cage on the right. Inhale, low back on the right. Inhale, pelvis on the right. Exhaling to the right, lift the pelvis on the left. Exhale the back on the left. Exhale the rib cage on the left. Shoulder blade on the left stays down. The last round to each side. Can you inhale, rib cage on the left. Inhale, back down on the left. Inhale, pelvis on the left, and exhale, lift the right pelvis. Exhale, lift that low back. Exhale, lift that rib cage. Keep that right shoulder blade down. And exhale, right shoulder blade and rib cage down, right low back down, right pelvis down. Last time, exhale to the right, left pelvis lifts, left low back lifts, left rib cage lifts, left shoulder blade stays down. Finally, inhale back to the center, rib cage drops on the left, low back drops on the left, pelvis drops on the left, and rest yourself there on the exhale. So much to think about with spinal twist if it's about how we do it and what we're using to do that. Gently take your right knee to your chest. Gently take your left knee to your chest. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, pull those knees into your chest. Rock yourself back and forth. Appreciate all of that soft tissue that you have lengthened and strengthened through that low back area today. And then when you're feeling ready, keeping the abdominals braced, slowly lower one foot to the floor, followed by the other, keeping that abdominal area braced. Slowly lower the right heel to the right corner of the mat, the left heel to the left corner of the mat, and then gently relaxing the abdominal region. Shoulder blades underneath you. Arms out to the side of you. Palms lifted. Hopefully our backs are feeling pretty happy. We used and re-educated some wonderful muscles of our low back today. Now let your spine be still. Start at your toes and take a deep inhale. Curl your toes under. Point your feet, point your ankles away from you. And then as you exhale, just let your feet relax completely. Let's do the opposite direction. So as you inhale, point your toes up towards your head. Stretch your calf muscles. Feel that engagement of those legs. And then as you exhale, relax completely. Going up to your thighs and your knees. Take an inhale and start to tighten your knees. Can you lift your heels completely off your mat? And then as you exhale, relax the knees, relax the thighs, let the ankles rest where the ankles may rest. Let's go up to your gluteal muscles for a second. Take an inhale, and as you inhale, tighten your gluteal muscles for a second. Literally feel yourself lifting your pelvis off the mat. And then as you exhale, let go of all those muscles. Fully relax everything down onto your mat. And go to your hands. And start with straightening your fingers, straightening your thumbs, pushing the tops of your hands down onto the mat. And then as you exhale, let all of that go. And then as you inhale, start to curl your fingers, make fists with your hands, tight, tight, tight fists. And then as you exhale, letting all of that go. And go to your elbows and your triceps here. And then as you inhale, straighten your elbows, lift your elbows up off of your mat. And then as you exhale, relax those elbows back down onto the floor. Go to your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Can you take a nice strong inhale? Squeeze as you pull the shoulder blades together. Push your shoulders down to the floor. And then as you exhale, just let it all go. Now go up to your mouth. Clench your teeth. Tighten those temporal mandibular joint muscles. Clench nice and tight and inhale. Exhale, and as you exhale, let go of whatever stress and tension you're holding on to. And then gently lengthen your neck. Settle your chin into your throat. See if you can keep your body nice and relaxed now. But can you very lightly take that head and just gently push it down into the floor. Inhaling here. And then as you exhale, let that contraction go. Eyeballs, tighten them nice and tight. So tight that you can't see any light coming in. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, letting it go. Now, let your body relax. Let your body be still. Slowly and gently inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. 2 more times. Gently inhaling in. And exhaling out. And finally, inhaling into the belly. And exhaling out. And take a nice, good swallow through your throat. And then begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start putting a nice, good smile on your face. Slide up that right leg and slide up that left leg. And gently let yourself roll over onto your side. Resting on your side for a moment. How quick did this hour go for you? Was it speedy like lightning, or did it last forever? Speaks to where you are and how present you are with your moment. Take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, use that top hand, bottom elbow. Push yourself up into a seated position. Find yourself in a nice, gentle, easy tailor pose. Hands are to the heart. Smiles on those faces. Deep inhaling in here. Exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.